everybody, Francis here, and welcome to another one of my campaign diaries. This campaign diary is specifically about episodes 3 and episodes 4, so if you have not seen or listened to the episode, please go check it out, otherwise this episode doesn't really make any sense. Like I said before, the goal of this is to sort of reflect and give my first takes on what went wrong during the session and to sort of give a better perspective on what I was thinking during said time. So if you enjoy this, please leave me a like in the description down below. But now let's get into the video. Today's session, or I should say the previous the session by the time this episode comes out, was a little bit different because normally when we stream on Twitch, it's usually not me. It's Guy who plays Vrex, who streams the game on Twitch, and he's the one that's normally paying attention to chat and whatnot because, you know, I can only do so many things. So when he told me he could not stream it, I kind of had to put together a setup where I can actually DM and stream the game, which led to a lot of technical issues, which I'm very sorry. So the episode started out with the party that they just met Zalim, and they had a lot of questions during their watch. Zalim is a son of the House of Samson. He has 2 older sisters, and his father wants him to be the leader he's the only male figure in the family, so he wants him to be more businessman-esque. However, he's not, the best, and, some people think of him as a loser. So introducing that kind of character is pretty funny in my mind, and I think that the party, really enjoyed his take on sort of things. In their discussion, Zalim told him he needs help because his cart was taken by a tenhe, which is a troll farmer. And before anyone types in the chat that I was being completely unfair, because that's a troll by nature is super OP against a group of level 2 people. Well, I lowered its stats, I lowered its AC, and I kept its abilities, because otherwise a troll is not really a troll. And I basically had a lot of minions that were set up where they can be dealt 1 hit and they're dead. However, once they dogpile on you, then that is really rough, and we'll get to that in a sec. So the party talked to Zalim. Zalim offered them gold and a meeting with their father, or with his father, for more work in exchange for helping him retrieve his cart. And this is where things got a little bit shaky. The party didn't really have a plan. And when I mean didn't have a plan, I mean they didn't have the basics of a plan. Zalim said that because of the Scorpion farm and the Scorpion horde, it would be a better idea to cause a distraction, steal the cart from under their nose, and then run. That's what Zalim was thinking in his mind. And the party, they had a better idea, but they didn't really explain it. And part of my thought process from this was that Michael, especially, as the player, not Ethan. Ethan is the leader of this group for now. Michael, as a player, he's never had a leadership role, so I think that to help him grow into this leadership role, the NPC, Zalim in this case, gave him a plan, and he says, this is what I think is best. However, since you're the leader, you're in charge, let's do what you think, and tell me what you think. I really wanted to just throw the baton to Michael and see what can Etan do as a leader. And I make sure to provide Michael and Etan and the rest of the group ample time to really define their plan. So they started with scouting. They scouted the area. Oh, look, there's all of these medium-sized scorpions that are surrounding horse meat that Atenhe was throwing into the mounds. The scorpion mounds were scraps of wood and kind of like a makeshift fertilizer, if in the fantasy sense, I mean. So they scouted it out, and they decided to throw meat, throw fire to sort of cause the other scorpions to rush over to that side. They can steal the carts and leave. That's what Etan or Michael thought during the game. When Etan, Vrex, Kate, and the rest of the party moved rightwards, that's when they got caught. They were really close to the cart. Initiative. It was a battle. During the battle, when Etan, Rex, and Kate were doing the most damage, the party had the most unfortunate series of events where everyone rolled super low. They rolled low on damage, they rolled low on attacks. I mean, they had pretty good initiatives. The only highest enemy that they had was a Tenhei. It was collectively really tough because Ganok, the half-orc barbarian, kept running into battle trying to attack the troll. Nothing was working because he slashed it, and the troll just kept healing off of it, which is the problem with trolls. When the party started attacking, they attacked the very large scorpions instead of the smaller ones. And scorpions, or giant scorpions in this case, they have really low stats except for their con. So whenever Libby or Kate started casting all of these Constitution saving spells, they succeeded because they're level 2. Their DCs are low and they have really high con. So that was pretty rough. And I was not expecting the party to have this low of a damage. And then it became time, because about this point of combat, all of the scorpions that were taken away by the meat, by the fire that was distracting them, they had a few rounds of combat to rush back to they had a few rounds of pure combat, but the party wasn't able to deal enough damage. The scorpions came back and they surrounded Ganok. Ganok at this point was pretty low. And when you get surrounded by all of the scorpions, Ganok went down, and because of the nature of being surrounded by all of these scorpions, Ganok died. The party decided to make a break for it. Meanwhile, Zalim ran in. He pushed the cart while everyone was fighting, and he hooked it up to one of the party's horses and essentially picked them up and ran away, far away from Atenhe and the Scorpion Farm. And that was the end of our session. Player death, something I definitely want to make a video about, but I was telling the players afterwards that about, you know, the stats of the creatures, because especially in encounters like this, I want to make the game challenging and tactics heavy. I don't want my players to feel this sense of dread that they couldn't do anything. And that was really encapsulated by the end when Rex finally shot an arrow at one of the baby scorpions. He dealt 6 points of damage and the scorpion died. And at that point, I think all of the players were like, oh, we could have won. And I believe that it was such a sad series of unfortunate events, and I can't... It just happened. And I don't think anyone's at fault. I think that a lot of the things that the players had in mind were good. I just think there was this little miscommunication that really ruined a lot. I think everyone has a little bit to blame. I think the dice saw it just happen. The dice god said, we're going to make you fail for this whole session, which is absurd. And also, I think this is going to be a very big change for a lot of the characters, because a lot of the characters are naive in such of a sense. Kate and Libby, as you've seen in the episodes, are super naive. Like, this is super discouraging, and we're gonna have to figure that out in game. I mean, nothing that, you know, we can do about it. So that's gonna be something to look forward to. That's it for this episode of my DM Diaries. I hope you enjoyed this. Pretty intense episodes, you guys. We'll pick this up next week, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.